Future Food and SLU University have funded a groundbreaking project, spearheaded by Professor Anders Kiessling, a leading figure in the global field of aquaculture.
We're bringing the biochemists together with the restaurant chefs, students. The whole project is about creating this interaction between the farmer and the end customer.
His mission in this specific project is to determine whether the sensory quality of cultivated fish can be measured by time served after slaughter and match scientific analysis.
A vision we have for the future is what fish should we actually select to use for farming the best tasting fish. This is something that's never been done before.
When it comes to eating fish, research states that more than 80% of the Swedish consumer report taste is important. 60% say they choose it for health qualities and 34% for low environmental impact. If we want the consumer to eat ethically and for health benefits, it has to taste good. And aquaculture now, in contrast to wild fish, offers us the possibility to control the production, slaughter and transport better.
Sweden has one of the oldest breeding programs for Arctic char starting in the 70s. Cultivated gives us options to produce a completely new product line, adding to the wild line. We just looked at the ordinary storage times on ice and realized if you just had a few days differences, we got completely different products. If you don't know that, how can you educate the customer how to actually then use the differences between the products?
Today we are in Stockholm in Sweden and Ulriksdal's Värdshus, so we're doing our sensory testing for the fish here today together with Örebro University, Grythyttan, Department of Culinary Arts and Meal Science.
To do sensory analysis, you need the train panels for the assessments, and we always use the students. The panel don't know what's going on in the kitchen when it comes to coding.
We both cook them in a water bath as well as serve them raw.
We are very interested now to see what happens when we taste it raw before Asgeir with all the energy left in the muscle compared to after.
And we also have chefs evaluating the same fish sample.
Of course, we want to use fish that's sustainable, so we don't overfish.
Maybe it's not just the freshest that's the best. In certain products or certain dishes, super fresh is the perfect. With other dishes, you may want to wait some time.
Our assessors here, they have one piece near the head of the fish, and the same piece they evaluate chemically at SLU.
The fish has been stored for 72 hours, 24 hours and 5 hours on ice before we took out the samples.
So here is the samples we took yesterday.
Cut it in small pieces with an extraction with chloroform and methanol. Destroy the cells. We also treat it with ultrasound, centrifugation to separate the water phases and the chloroform. We need to cut off the proteins so we can run the NMR.
We measure the content of different compounds using different methods, for example, mass spectrometry or NMR. The next step is to see if the size of the signal here coming from different compounds can be predictive coming from different metabolites and the sensory quality judged by a chef. This platform is funded strategically by the university to support the research in the field of agriculture.
Analytic technology has caught up with our wish to compare the very good chef's palate with what's going on in the actual raw material.
It's super important, I would say, to make science of what we are feeling when we're eating.
There are not so many research have been done that consider the contents of different compounds and correlate it with sensory quality. And definitely the first time with fish.
Big companies and chefs and everyone who's working with these kind of products and working with the end consumers and the guests, they need to understand the science part behind that.
Well, we're interested in good quality of food.
Exactly.
And want to make big steps forward.
I think we are ready for a change here in Sweden. Yes, I really think so.
So you think Sweden has a potential of aquaculture farming?
Oh, absolutely. Sweden is very well placed to actually get circular production of food through aquaculture. This kind of interaction between the farmer and the good chef is happening now because aquaculture has opened that possibility.